This video is for advanced 3D and AP 3D students. We're making a quick introductory notebook. This is kind of a way for you to introduce yourself to me in terms of your concepts, your ideas, things you're interested in. And so the notebook is a visual sort of representation of where you are at this time. It's also a great place to start thinking about ideas of inquiry. What you'd like to study this year, what you'd like to do. And so let's go ahead and get started. Each of you are going to be provided with a Ziploc bag with some materials. So let's go over what's inside the bag. You have a sewing needle. You have a Elmer's glue stick. 2 pieces of cardboard. And a piece of cardboard for the binding, bookbinding cloth, piece of string, 10 pieces of paper, white paper, and a couple pieces of construction paper. All right, we're going to start by folding the piece of paper. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and fold all 10 pieces of paper and crease them. All right, so we have our 10 pieces of paper that we're going to use for our Why Do I Make Art notebook. All right, we're going to go ahead and do our markings now. So this paper is 9 inches by 6 inches, and the spine is 6 inches. So we're going to go ahead and do the markings here. Now this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, so please pay attention here. So we're using an inch ruler. We're going to make sure that the ruler is on the end, so the 0 is right on the end. And I'm going to go ahead and measure in 1/4 inch. That's our first mark. And then I'm going to measure in to the 1 inch mark. So this is a 1/4. That's 1 inch. And then we're going to go 1 3/4. And then we're going to go 2 1/2. We'll go 3 1/4. And then you're going to go 4 inch. And then you'll have a 4 3/4. And then you're going to have a 5 1/2. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they should be evenly spaced. If you don't mark them evenly, you will have trouble later when you're sewing your book together. All right, we're going to put a couple sheets together. I'm going to have a couple of booklets of 2 and a couple of booklets of 3. So there's a booklet of 3, there's a booklet of 2, and there's a booklet of 3. And you could do 4 booklets of 3 if you wanted to do 12. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to poke the holes through. It's helpful if you have a towel at this point. And you're going to need a needle tool. So the towel is helpful so you don't poke into the table or break the needle. And we're kind of pre-drilling our holes, if you would. Okay. So here's the thing. When you put your next booklet up, the next holes, when you poke them through, you want them to be at the same spot. So when I go through, I want to make sure that I'm going to poke my holes in the same spot. So what I might do is I might open this up and look at this, look at the spacing, Or if you want, you can use that needle tool. You can poke through, okay? Or you can practice with that ruler again. All right, let's line it up. Make sure the zero's on one end. And let's look at our spacing here. So the first one is 1/4 inch. And then we got 1 inch. And then we got 1 3/4, 2 1/2, 3 1/4, 4, 4 3/4, 5 1/2. Okay. The key thing is I like to have the 8 holes. It works out better with sewing, and I like them to have the same spacing. All right, so let's try the poking. Watch your fingers when you're poking, because if you're not careful, you can poke yourself. I have done that a couple of times. Not fun. Okay, so I went and marked them out. Let's take a look and see if the holes are spaced evenly. Yeah, those are pretty close. If you poke them out and the holes are not lined up, then you know you did something wrong. You can go back and redo it. I have lots of paper so you can make some mistakes and do it again. All right, let's do the last 2 booklets. I will put this on time lapse. All right, let's take a look how we've done. All right, those are pretty darn close. Okay, if your holes are not lined up, if you don't have them in a straight line, then you might want to go back and repoke them or get some new paper and try again. If you have them all pre-drilled, if you would, it's faster and easier to sew it up.